the heart of a sun-dappled woodland, where wildflowers painted the meadows in strokes of violet and gold, lived a young rabbit named Pipkin. He wasn't the bravest of rabbits. His nose twitched at the slightest unfamiliar sound, and his long ears swiveled like furry satellites, always on alert. Pipkin's home was a cozy burrow tucked beneath the roots of an ancient oak tree, a place of warmth and the familiar scent of damp earth and sweet clover. His mother had taught him all the important rabbit rules. Never, ever trust a cat. Cats, she had explained, were silent predators, all sleek muscle and sharp claws. The mere thought of a cat sent a ripple of fear through his small body. One bright, dewy morning, as Pipkin was nibbling on a particularly juicy dandelion green just at the edge of his burrow, he saw her. She was a calico cat, a patchwork of milky white, fiery orange, and deep black fur. She moved with a liquid grace that was both mesmerizing and terrifying. Callie was not like the alley cats Pipkin's mother had described. She was endlessly curious, her green eyes wide with wonder. She was looking for a friend. Sound of a small gasp and a leaf dropping. Pipkin froze, the dandelion green dropping from his mouth. A cat. Every instinct screamed at him to dive back into the safety of his burrow. "Hello," Callie called out, her voice a soft, melodic purr. It wasn't the menacing hiss Pipkin had imagined. Pipkin didn't answer. He just stared, his eyes wide with a mixture of fear and fascination. He saw her bright, intelligent eyes, not filled with hunger, but with an unmistakable sparkle of curiosity. "It's a lovely morning, isn't it?" Callie tried again, sitting down and tucking her paws neatly under her chest to appear as non-threatening as possible. "The sunbeams are perfect for napping." Pipkin, emboldened by her calm demeanor, managed a tiny, squeaky, "Why, you're a sea cat." Callie's ears twitched. "And you're a rabbit," she replied with a gentle smile in her voice. "Is that a problem?" "My mother says, she says cats are dangerous," Pipkin stammered, taking a hesitant hop backward. "Oh," she said softly. "Well, my mother says that mice are for chasing, but I once met a field mouse named Squeaky who told the most wonderful stories. I didn't chase him. I listened." This was a revolutionary thought for Pipkin. He had always believed his mother's words were law. He watched as Callie began to bat playfully at a ladybug. She was gentle, her claws carefully sheathed. She wasn't scary at all. She was beautiful. Over the next few days, this strange, silent dance continued. Slowly, cautiously, Pipkin started to venture a little further out. One afternoon, Pipkin was trying desperately to reach a patch of particularly lush, high-growing clover, just beyond his usual nibbling grounds. He stretched his neck and stood on his tiptoes, but his little legs were just too short. Callie, who had been watching from a sunny patch nearby, patted over. Having some trouble, she purred. Using her nose, she gently bent the tallest stalks down towards him. It was delicious. He looked at Callie, her green eyes soft and kind. "Thank you," he whispered. That small act of kindness was the seed from which a most unlikely friendship began to grow. Pipkin learned that Callie loved stories, especially tales of the deep burrow, while Callie recounted her adventures in the human world, describing strange objects like tin openers and fluffy blankets. Pipkin learned that not all cats were the same, just as Callie knew that not all rabbits were timid. But their friendship was about to face its greatest test. The sky, which had been a brilliant, cloudless blue for weeks, began to darken with an ominous gray. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves of the old oak tree into a frantic, whispering frenzy. A low rumble echoed in the distance, growing steadily louder. "A storm is coming," Pipkin said, his nose twitching nervously. "A big one. Be safe, Pipkin." Pipkin scurried into the familiar comfort of his burrow, and Callie raced towards the cottage at the edge of the woods. The first drops of rain began to fall. Sound of pouring rain and loud thunder. Soon, it was a downpour, a torrential curtain of water that turned the meadow into a series of muddy puddles. Thunder cracked overhead, so loud it seemed to shake the very roots of the ancient oak. Inside his burrow, Pipkin huddled in the dark, listening to the storm rage outside. He heard a new sound, a gurgling, trickling noise he didn't recognize. He hopped towards the entrance and gasped in horror. A stream of muddy water was pouring into his home. The ground outside was completely saturated. Panic seized him. The water was rising quickly, swirling around his paws. He turned and scrambled towards the back of the burrow, where there was a smaller, emergency exit. But a powerful crack of thunder shook the ground, and with a terrible groan, a large, heavy root shifted, dislodging a cascade of earth and stones that completely blocked his escape route. He was trapped. The water was now up to his belly, cold and terrifying. Pipkin let out a cry of pure terror, a high-pitched squeal that was swallowed by the roar of the storm. Miles away, huddled under the porch of her cottage, Callie heard it. It was faint, almost lost in the symphony of the storm, but she heard it. It was Pipkin's voice. Without a second thought for her own safety, she bolted from the porch and into the heart of the storm, her green eyes focused and determined. "Pipkin," she yowled, her voice sharp with worry. "Pipkin, can you hear me?" A faint, terrified squeak answered her from within the earth. She dug frantically, her claws sinking into the wet soil, but the earth was dense and heavy. An idea sparked in her clever mind. Using all her strength, she pushed and nudged the heavy branch. With a final, desperate heave, she put all her weight onto the end of the branch. Slowly, miraculously, the heavy root shifted. You saved me," he choked out. "Of course I did," Callie said, licking the mud from his fur. "You're my friend."